We want to take a closer look at the recordings from February 7th and then see what happened in the months following. In that February 7th recording, you hear the president refer to the virus as, quote, deadly stuff, more deadly than even your strenuous flus. But he's really taking heat for a March 19th recording where he said, quote, I still like playing it down because I don't want to create a panic. End quote. That's the remark making headlines today. But what about the remarks we all heard him make on March 30th at a press conference at the White House, where the president said publicly he wants to keep Americans calm? Watch.
What do you say to Americans who are upset with you over the way you downplayed this crisis over the last couple of months? We have it very much under control in this country. The coronavirus is very much under control in the USA. It's going to disappear. It's like a miracle. It will disappear. At March 4th, we have a very small number of people in this country infected. March 10th, we're prepared. We're doing a great job with it. It will go away. Just stay calm. It will go away. What do you say to Americans who believe that you got this wrong?
And I do want them to stay calm, and we are doing a great job. If you look at those individual statements, they're all true. Stay calm. It will go away. You know it is going away, and it will go away, and we're going to have a great victory. And it's people like you and CNN that say things like that, it's why people just don't want to listen to CNN anymore. You could ask a normal question. The statements I made are, I want to keep the country calm. I don't want panic in the country.
Here to react, we welcome former Nevada State GOP chairwoman and Republican strategist Amy Tarkanian. Also welcoming Bobby Eberle, the host of the 13-Minute News Hour. Good morning to you both. Thanks for being with us. And Amy, you know, we just played that sound from a press conference where the president explained himself and his reasoning for keeping the country calm back at the end of March there. So are you considering these Woodward recordings bombshells against the president? How are you viewing those today?
No, not at all. These are not bombshells. In fact, it's ridiculous that the president even has to explain himself in this scenario. We heard throughout the pandemic from numerous Democratic leaders themselves asking the country to remain calm. So this is just another political game where they're playing basically, they're being hypocritical. I think that it's wonderful that the president actually tried to keep everyone calm. As a parent, you know, when you have a child who's injured, you don't run in screaming bloody murder. You try to keep them calm, and then you say, we're going to take care of it. We're going to go get a Band-Aid. We're going to take you to the doctor. If you have an ambulance that shows up and heaven forbid you are very injured, you don't hear the EMTs screaming, saying, oh my God, what are we going to do? They keep everyone calm, and they take you to the hospital. So as a leader, that being President Trump, I think it was perfect in his tone and in his message to keep everyone focused and calm.
Well, it's one thing to say keep calm and then not do anything. But Bobby, the president did take actions to combat coronavirus.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely did. And what's funny with this story breaking out, you know, we've got the story in the Atlantic coming out, and there's going to be stories nonstop until Election Day, and people can call them all sorts of things, bombshells or distractions or annoyances. This story I would put together in one word, and that is a gift. This is a gift because there's nothing more that a president wants to be perceived as in the American people than as presidential. And wow, this shows that he was briefed on the severity, he took action right away, and he kept the people calm. I mean, here in Texas, there were shortages of toilet paper. People just freaked out and we were out of toilet paper. Can you imagine if there was actual panic in the streets, what would happen? I mean, it would be total chaos. He kept people calm while going through the procedures that he needed to do, the steps to close down the country, put the task force together, on and on. And the other thing that is so great about this story is that we can timeline the Democrats. We can timeline what de Blasio was saying, what Pelosi was saying, what Joe Biden and his team were saying and when, and show that they were the ones not paying attention and taking this seriously.
Yeah, it's all on tape, and I want to get to it. But first, let's start with reaction yesterday from Dr. Fauci. He weighed in to these claims that were recorded as well, and I want to play you that and get your response.
I don't recall anything different than in our discussions that we had with the president, that he said things quite similar publicly. So I didn't read the book. I didn't really go over any of the text since it just came out. But, when in my discussions and the discussions of other task force members with the president, we're talking about the reality of what was going on. And then when we would get up in front of the press conferences, which were very, very common after our discussions with the president, he really didn't say anything different than we discussed when we were with him. So I may not be tuned in to the right thing that they're talking about, but I didn't really see any discrepancies between what he told us and what we told him and what he ultimately came out publicly and said.
So Fauci there saying no discrepancies between what was going on behind the scenes and what message was delivered to the American public. As we know, the mainstream media, they're always listening to Dr. Fauci. They've never seemed to doubt him in the past. But Amy, do you think they'll come out and mention Dr. Fauci's remarks that we heard just yesterday in response to these allegations?
I wouldn't count on it. I think they'll probably just ignore him and try to sweep him under the rug. Throughout the entire pandemic, this man, outside of the president, was the most powerful person. He's the person that when most people turned into their TVs, it was during his briefings to the American public. And he was nonpartisan. So he was hailed on the left and hailed on the right. So I think that his words are pretty powerful in response to the president in this situation.
Yeah, we'll see if they get any coverage. It's always important to include context as well and check sources and fact check as well. So talk to everyone in the room essentially here. Bobby, earlier you'd mentioned that other politicians were potentially also downplaying the virus here, and I want to play you some clips from Nancy Pelosi and other leaders who did the same. Here's this.
The risk to New Yorkers for coronavirus is low,
and our city preparedness is high.
This should not stop you from going about your life, should not stop you from going to Chinatown and going out to eat. I'm going to do that today myself.
Come to Chinatown. Here we are. We're, again, careful, safe.
Bobby, your thoughts on that? Where's the pushback for them?
I know. I hope it comes. I mean, this is just, again, the people in their strategy rooms, I don't know what they're thinking, because this Atlantic story was just bogus. This story, again, is a gift to the president. And when you have de Blasio and Pelosi and all these others saying, come out, it's safe, I wish President Trump had given his press conference with the monitors, like Haley McEnany did, because when Acosta asked his ridiculous question, all he had to do was play a clip of Acosta calling the travel ban xenophobic. That's what he did right after President Trump did it. So was he downplaying it, or was he just trying to score political points with the left-wing buddies? It's just outrageous. No one took it seriously on the left because President Trump was taking it seriously at the beginning. So they had to do the opposite approach, and you see the results. We have all of this timelines, video, all these sound bites that we could use against the Democrats, yet they think that this is a blockbuster story. It's just gold. It's just gold.
Well, of course, this is an election year as well, and so the president's opponent is not going to hold back his criticism for the president's handling of the coronavirus, that, of course, being Joe Biden. But here's what Joe Biden actually said, I believe it was on February 28th, 2020. We'll play you this sound.
But I want to take a moment to say it's not a time to panic.
Short and sweet there, Amy, but you get the idea. Clearly we've learned so much since the start of this pandemic here, but we're not going to hear the end of it when it comes to the criticism as well. And I guess, as Bobby was saying here, you just got to look back at what some of these people had said. There's a flip-flopping as well when it comes to people on both sides of the aisle, it seems.
Sure. And they've criticized the president and the way that he's handled the pandemic from day one. It didn't matter what he had done, what he had accomplished. They were going to attack him. But, the one good thing about the shutdown with COVID is it actually forced people to pay closer attention to the media outlets. So that's why other outlets such as yourself are now coming to the forefront and leading with actual facts, fact-based news. People actually have the opportunity to sit down, check out CNN, check out MSNBC, check out maybe some of the guests that they're not, used to hearing from, even on, Fox affiliates, and actually now question, what is truth, what is not truth. A lot of people were not able to actually take the time to watch those news outlets because they were going to work, and now they were forced to sit there, watch TV all day, and go, that doesn't sound right. Let's look into this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we appreciate you both joining us today and sharing your thoughts, spending the time here. Amy Tarkanian, Bobby Eberle, thanks so much.
Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.